welcome to lesson 5. I hope you enjoyed our song Odd Lang Syne last week. I hope that was a fun little exercise for you to be able to play a song, a duet. We will do more of those, more and more of them each week, hopefully. They are a bit of work to put together, but they're fun to play. To review a couple things that we learned last week and in the lessons before, let's talk about what a quarter note was once again. It looks like a black dot with a stem. The half note is a white dot or a circle with a stem and gets 2 counts. The whole note is just the circle with no stem and receives 4 counts. Now we used all of those in our song Odd Lang Syne last week. We were also practicing an exercise of swinging the elbow, so having a tunnel over the strings and just being able to rotate our arm. And this is to move your fingers from one string to the other. So you might practice to take it another step, just practice moving, G string, D string, A string, E string. But I just want you to get this motion, making sure that your thumb is not gripping. This week we're going to take hand frame one more step. And we're now going to learn how to actually put our fingers on the string for the first time. So using your hand frame exercise, you're at this point. I trust you can get here successfully. Go ahead and carefully slip down while you're still moving. I don't want you to stop waving those fingers at all. Slip down under the fingerboard. Now you're waving at somebody as if they're over behind your left shoulder. And pulling your elbow in. So we're combining hand frame with the swinging elbow. And start to take your fingers into an accordion fan shape. So your fingers are normally here. Pretend they're an accordion fan, reaching back with 1 and forward with 4. And just spread those fingers that way while you're still moving, while you're still waving. The waving is what keeps the tension out of your hand. So here you're straight. As you slip down, you're going to start doing that accordion shape. And go ahead and go beyond the G string. Don't worry about getting your fingers on the string right away. Your elbow is pulled all the way in for the G string. And slowly move those fingers over to the string. Go ahead and establish a shape of having about 1 inch between 4 and 3. 3 and 2 are close together, as close as they can get. We call them best friends. 2 and 1 are about 1 inch apart, and then from 1 to the nut is also about 1 inch. That's the shape that I want you to try to achieve while you're moving your fingers on and off in that waving motion from this large knuckle, mostly. That's where the main motion is coming from. Next, I want you to try to actually play a note on your violin. So, in order to push the string down, you don't want to use your finger muscle and actually push. You can see that puts tension in my hand and my arm. Instead, I want you to think about a monkey hanging on a tree branch. And it's going to just hang. It's going to put the weight down and relax into it. You notice that it's pulling back here or putting pressure that is being resisted by my chin. Or anyway, by my cheekbone. Okay, so pulling down, let the weight of all of your arm from your shoulder all the way down to your hand hang on your violin to push the string down. It doesn't really take much. Your arm is actually rather heavy and it'll push that string down just fine, so you don't have to engage a muscle to do that. Okay, so the first note that I want you to do is 4th finger on the G string. Okay, so your elbow's all the way in. I keep reminding you of that because it's kind of hard to remember to do. 4th finger on the G string is actually going to be the same note as open D. So this is my fourth finger on the G string. This is my open D string. They have a different tone color, but they're the same note. All right, once you're really good at that, again, keeping everything relaxed and always coming from the very bottom. This time we're gonna set up same way, all the way over with our elbow in. You're gonna move your fingers to the G string with that shape that we talked about. And then you're gonna take your elbow and push it to the D string and keep that motion going. Now using fourth finger again, this is gonna match our open A string. Different tone color, same pitch. And then to move to the A string, again, your elbow relaxes back. You can still do that motion from your fingers. And this matches the open E string. Fourth finger on the A string is the same note as open E. Fourth finger on the D string, same note as open A. Fourth finger on the G string, same note as open D. So that's how you can tell for sure whether you're getting it in tune, and you want to establish really good muscle memory as far as location. How far out is that from you or in? And just once you get it in tune, go ahead and hold it there, close your eyes, and just mentally remind yourself what that is. Next, I'd like to teach you about the rests that coordinate with the note values that we have already learned. So we've already learned the quarter note, the half note, and the whole note. So now I want to teach you about the quarter rest that gets 1 count, the half rest that gets 2 counts, and the whole rest that gets 4 counts. So the quarter rest looks much like a lightning bolt. I always think of it as kind of 5 lines zigzagging down. That one is equal to a quarter note value. It gets 1 count or 1 beat. The half rest looks much like a top hat sitting on the line of the staff. And it sits above the line. Because it's lightweight, it's only 2 counts. And that's important because the whole rest actually looks the same, it's just upside down. So you could think of it again as a top hat, but it's upside down. And it is heavy 4 counts. And so it pulls it down more, it's heavier, and it hangs below the line. That's how I remember the difference between the two, because they do look the same, they're just upside down. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned to you the names of the space notes spell the word face on the treble staff. Let's go over those once again. The bottom space is F, second space is A, third space is C, and the top space or the fourth space is E. We really want to memorize those this week, so I'm giving you flashcards with all of them on one and also the individual notes. We're going to start trying to learn to read the notes. If you already have them memorized, much like memorizing multiplication tables, it'll be easier for you when we go to actually read them and play them on our violin. The line notes are similar, but you have to memorize a little phrase to learn those. Every good boy does fine. And the names of the notes are the first letter of each word. E, G, B, D, F, from bottom to top. Those are the line notes. So lots of flashcards this week. Take them with you everywhere. When you just have a couple of minutes, flip through them and just really familiarize yourself with those notes. Congratulations, you've made it halfway through my summer violin course. And so I'm going to give you a review test as a worksheet this week, and I'm not going to give the answer key out until next week. You should be able to find all the answers in the material that I have already given you, but go ahead and take that test cold, see how much of it you really already know. I'm going to make a separate video once again with the songs for this week's lesson. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like. I will see you next week with lesson 6.